welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to Abundant Gains. Here on my channel I talk all things budgeting, and today I'm going to be going through my budget breakdown for my third check of February. I'm going to take you all the way through my process and how I budget every check that I get. Now, do keep in mind that the third check that I get every month is not my army check. Well, it is my army check. It's the check that we get for food expenses, travel expenses, and stuff like that. We have the option to either spend that money or not. Either way, that money is going to get paid out to us. And most of us here on this deployment are pretty much just saving it up and not blowing it, hopefully. So that check that we get separate from our 1st and 15th check is $2,370. And I did get paid that today. So tomorrow I'll be going to the bank and taking this money out. So I figured, why not just try my best to explain my process and get to the numbers and how it all works out for me. And that's my kitten in the back playing with some old Christmas ornaments. So let's see how well this goes. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't want to confuse you guys, so I will try and explain this the best way that I can, the best way that makes sense to me. With my third check, because I already budgeted from on my second check my bills from the 15th to the 1st, whatever gets pulled out between the 15th and the day that I get that check, so today the 23rd, I'll just go ahead and budget the rest of those bills from like today to the 1st that haven't been taken out yet. So currently in my bank, I have $548. 315 of that is for my car note that gets taken out tomorrow. And then $9 of that is for an app that I use that gets taken out on the 30th, as well as my storage unit, which is $67, which gets taken out on the 1st. And my school debt, I did not account for this for that second check because I only have $548 to completely pay that off. But because this check is the biggest check and all of this has already been accounted for in my last check, I'm thinking that I'm actually just going to go ahead and pay it all off tomorrow, the full $548. And I do have my laptop here just to use the calculator because I don't have an actual calculator. I really need to get me one ASAP. I always forget that I need one. So I'm gonna use this calculator on my laptop to track everything. So with that being said, I did get paid $2,370. So currently, if I add that up with the $548 that was already in there for 3 of those bills out of 4, I currently have $2,918 in the bank. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the math, and we'll just go through this process together, okay? So please bear with me. So at $2,918, so I'm gonna pretty much, just because it's such a big number and I have a lot of space to kind of mess around with the numbers, I'm gonna go ahead and just subtract these bills that are coming out. So $315 comes out tomorrow, minus $9, minus $67, and that leaves us with $2,527. And because this is a lot of money to stuff, because this is what I could be stuffing once my bills have been accounted for. Typically my school debt is normally $240, but I paid a little extra last month, so it's $106. But if we were to put in that $240, then whatever is left is what I would be stuffing, plus a little bit of extra money, which is about, I don't know, somewhere between $50 to $100 that I keep in the bank just in case I forget my cash at home or something like that. But it doesn't happen often. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and just subtract $548 because I want to completely pay off this debt that I shouldn't even have been paying for in the first place, to be honest. That's kind of a long story, but long story short, I got scammed out of my money at a music producing school or program. So anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'll just put in 550 because it's 548.01. I'll just minus 550, 550. So I'm left with 1977. And I'll go ahead and note that down is what I can stuff. And because that's still a really, really big amount. Oh, there goes Freya. I don't know if you can see her, but there she is. She loves to be on my laptop when I'm out here. I think, I don't know what I want to do. Because this is a lot of money, and if I do end up stuffing this amount, a lot of it is just going to go into my sinking funds, which is great, but a lot of people don't watch stuffings that are like over $1,200 to $1,300 because that's out of their budget, and it can be overwhelming to watch that. So I try not to stuff too much, literally for reasons like that as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and just subtract 100 that I'll just keep extra in the bank, and that'll leave me with 1877. So now I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna say minus 100 that's going to stay in the bank, so we'll just count that as buffer money. I just put extra on there, and so I'm left with 1877. So want to make sure that this is exactly what I want to do. Pretty sure it is. So now, oh, I'm actually going to go ahead and add up first before I do any of this. I'm actually gonna, I'll note down 1877 stuff. And I want to add up these numbers. Oh, I keep pressing the wrong thing, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 315 plus 9 plus 67 plus 548 or 550. And that's $941 that it's going towards bills. And after I finish paying off this debt, I'm gonna have just finally so much more money to work with. And I don't say that in a bragging way. I say that in the way that I'll be able to just put a lot more in my sinking funds, more so towards like my future home and my vacation and my emergency envelopes, because those are like the top 3 that I have my eyes on right now. So I'll go back, and how much did I say I had in there right now? 2370 minus, no, 2370 plus 548, so 2919. 18 minus 941 minus the bills minus 941, just to double check that the math is right. 1977. Oh, minus that 100, that's buffer money, so 1877. So I'm just pretty much repeating myself here, don't mind me, just kind of breaking it down in a way that'll make sense, because I know that these are big numbers and this can work with a smaller amount as well. So for my next check that I'll get in a few days, I will go ahead and do this again, and you'll see that it'll be a lot less money to work with, and how I manage that as well. So now we're working with 1877 for this check, and I haven't stuffed such a big amount in a while. I'm gonna go ahead and slide this over just a little. All right, so 1877, and this is for the 23rd, so 2/23. And of course, we're gonna go ahead and start with my mania envelopes. So my mania envelopes, and of course, I try to put these in order. So eating out is first, and then groceries toiletries. Okay, so like I've said before, because this is the third check and it's only like a week to just a few days apart from my previous check, whatever I have not spent in here is not going into my invest folder or envelope. I'm going to put in the difference of what I have spent. So eating out, typically I put 40 in here. I've spent $10. I'm doing really good actually with eating out. I am gonna get boba to like later today. We're not gonna talk about that. I have an obsession with boba. So $20 is technically what's left, and I'm going to put in 20 to complete that 40 that it normally would be getting. And I'll just put in here in the amount slot $40 because that's what I'll end up with total. Boba is about, I don't know, $8-10. So I'll just use this to pay for that later. So groceries, I've been trying to use up all of the food that I still have here, so I have not gone and gotten groceries. So for the first time in forever, I'm not putting anything towards groceries, so the amount is still the same, 120. And spending, I have nothing, so spending is going to get, of course, the full $30, and that amount will be 30. And then toiletries, there is a few things I have to get from like a Walgreens later. I don't think it'll be more than like $8, so we're just gonna subtract 10 and we'll just say 20, and I'll just go ahead and put 10 here, and then that amount will total back to $30, just in case I do spend like almost $10. And then whatever is left in there, honestly, I'll just keep it in there or move it over to invest. It's no big deal. So that is how my mini envelopes are calculated. Whenever I am stuffing this check, that's only a few days apart from my last one and a few days apart from my next one, because that'll be sometime next week. So now I'm gonna add up what I have. So just 20 plus 30 plus 10, which is $60. So I'm gonna go ahead and right here just put 60, and that's the amount that I'm stuffing. So now we have $18.77 minus $60, and that leaves us with $18.17. So still in the 1800 bracket. Go ahead and get on with my cash binder, which will take a good chunk as well. So I have beauty. I'm gonna try and remember this off the top of my head because normally I'm looking at my notes while I'm doing this. Beauty, I have Black Friday. I have the car maintenance. Okay, and I'm lost. So clothing. All right, so gonna try and hurry up before my phone dies. So beauty, I'm gonna go ahead and just put 50 in beauty. I feel like probably gonna get my feet redone soon, and why not spoil myself? So I'll put 50 in beauty because, again, it's not that I want to put such big amounts in here, but I also do have to find a way to spend $1,800, which is almost $2,000, and I don't want to put too much in my sinking funds, and then I'll feel like, I don't know, it's weird. I like to have a balance of things, in short, so I'm really trying to find a balance here. Black Friday, I've been putting $10 in there, but I think today I'm gonna put 20. Car is going to be last because I'm gonna base that off of what I actually have left. I don't know who is playing that music, but it's not me. Car maintenance, I'm gonna stick with giving it 80. Clothing, I'm also gonna give it 50, why not? Family time, let's say 30. Fun, we'll say 20. My fur babes, they always get 75. Gifts, we'll just say, I would say 10, but we'll say 20 for the sake of this check. And tattoos, I'm gonna spoil myself a little, so I'm gonna say 30 for that. My Sharpie is lost somewhere, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use this pink pen right here. We'll write down sinking funds. All right, and you know, I love to decorate, so give me a minute. And we'll just throw in this other sticker that'll say saved here in the corner. I like this little arrow. I don't know, I'll just put it here, I guess. Okay, so let's move along. Sinking funds, I always start with my high priority or my big girl binder. So that is emergency is first, savings. I feel like I just skipped over one. Let me see. I did. It was medical. I like to put them in alphabetical order. Oh well. And taxes. And then for my regular sinking funds, it is Christmas, future home, mystery. My handwriting looks terrible because I'm not used to writing like this. And vacation. So now, okay, I do need to note down my savings challenge because that I have to take out exactly what that is. So then I can go ahead and do my sinking funds and add in that car payment with whatever I feel comfortable with. So let me go back to my video and find out how much I'm taking out for this because I forgot. I do this every single time. I need to start noting it down somewhere. Maybe like whenever I finish, note it in this binder. So I'm stuffing 90 and 75 for my savings challenge. I'll note that here. Savings challenge 90, 75, and then I'll just, I don't know, make a little box here to separate that from the rest. So now I know that. So now I can go ahead and go back into my calculator. So we know I have 1877 minus the 60 for my mini envelopes. That's 1817 minus 90 minus 75. 1652. So I've already went ahead and gotten the amounts for my cash binder. So 1652 and then minus 50, 20, minus 80, 50 again, 30, 20, 75, 20, and 30. Someone is really out there, like, I don't know, maybe they're just chilling on a porch or something because they are really going in. So 1277 is what I have left. Keeping that in mind, I think I'm gonna put 100 down for my car. So I'll go ahead and just put down 100. Honestly, I think family time should get 50. And yeah, I think everything else is good. So, and minus 1120 because I just took, yeah, 1157. I'm gonna make sure that that is correct. So let me redo this math really quick. I'm left with 1157, and that is what I will be stuffing into my sinking funds, which is quite a chunk. So that means that I'll most likely end up putting a lot into my emergency, my savings, my future home, and my vacation. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into that. Starting to get a little dim out here. The sun is going away, it's leaving us. So we're almost finished, so no big deal. 1157 is what's going into my sinking funds. So 1157, just write that on the side so that I don't forget. So then minus 50, 25. I have 1082. So with 1082, I don't want to forget that either. So 1082, I'm just gonna write that there. 1082 minus emergency normally gets 85, but what happens if I give it 150? Let's see, let's play around with these numbers. Say I give that 150. Say I give vacation normally gets 215. What if I give it 250? And then savings is 140. And we already did taxes. Medical normally gets 50. I don't need to do more than that because I've already hit that goal. And I'll still have a really, really big chunk to work with for future home and mystery. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is pretty much just do exactly what I just said. So that was 1082. So just like, as you can see, you can pretty much play around with these numbers however you want. Nothing has to be super specific. Now, if this was a smaller check, I do have a limit. Like, yes, I do have a limit that I can't go over when I have a check. So that is why I have like the minimums that I can put in there. That's noted in my notes. But as long as I'm going past that minimum, then I'm good. So I'm gonna stick with 150 for emergency because I think that's a really good jump from the 85, considering I have just a lot to work with right now for my sinking funds. And then savings typically gets 140. Last time I did 170. Honestly, I think I'm gonna do 170 again. It's not gonna hurt anyone to have a little extra, and it'll help me get closer to 3,000 by May. Medical, I'm pretty sure medical typically gets 50. Yes, yeah, I'm sticking with that because I'm way past the goal and I'm not really worried about that. And future home, we're gonna do that last. Vacation typically gets 215, but what if I do 300? So 1082 minus 150 minus 170. Oh shoot, I messed that up.
1082. Oh wait, actually that's not accurate. That was the actual calculator because this is the rolling off. You went 100 and then 20.
I have 712, so if I do, say I did 300 for vacation, I still have 412, so I could literally put 250 in future home, and then I'd be left with 160 something for mystery, which I think it's a bit much for mystery. I think for mystery, I'll do one. Yeah, I guess I'll do, no, that's too much. That's way too much. I'm thinking I'm just gonna do 100 in mystery, and future home and vacation is just gonna get the biggest out of everything. So now this is kind of where everything just comes together. I add everything up, and whatever I have left, then I go ahead and put that in future home and in vacation. 612. We'll do 300 for vacation. You know what? Yes, forget it. We'll do 300 for vacation and 312 for future home. So those are my biggest priorities right now anyway, and everything else has more than enough. Oh, it's got super dark in here. You know, sun setting things. Okay, so this seems like a lot, but given the circumstances, I have a trip in May that's gonna be pretty pricey because of where I'm going. And then future home, it is a pressing matter to put as much as I can into future home because my deployment is wrapping up. I'm gonna move out of this apartment March 24th, and then I believe they're gonna put us in hotels for a few weeks, and then we'll be like transitioning or processing out of the deployment, which is going to take some days. Well, long story short, because I haven't mentioned this in my regular cash stuffing videos, I need to find a place to live ASAP. I was under the impression that I was going to get to stay another 9 months, but I just found out like 2 weeks ago, just kidding, you're going home with the other people that did not volunteer to stay. And I think it's pretty unfair, but it is what it is. It is the military life. That is one of the news that I wanted to share with you guys, is that I'm gonna go back home and I have to find a job. I have to find a place to stay because I did not plan for this. I planned to stay longer. I was given the okay that I was gonna be staying. Turns out I'm not. So I have been hustling to find a job, and I have been looking for apartments this week. I was very stressed out about this when I first found out. I feel like I definitely have a good chunk of money to find somewhere to stay for a while. I really wanted to stay future home for at least another year because I was under the impression that I was going to stay for another year. So a year's worth of savings for a future home, I think for me, would have been very lovely. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to start spending that because I have to go find somewhere to stay now. But I'm going to push through and hope that everything works out. I believe in the power of, obviously, of the universe, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. So I'm not as stressed out no more, but of course I do want to be prepared for that. So I'm just gonna say like nothing is too much for future home, so I'm gonna stick with 312. That's the news. That is the news. So if you watch this, now you know. And that is pretty much, I'm gonna have to close this out. That is how I budget that third check, which explains why for this check I always end up stuffing so much more in my third stuffing of the month than in my first and my second. And I could obviously just put all of that into a savings and not have to stuff it individually, but I don't know, this is just the way that I wanted to do it for that extra check that we get a month. I hope you guys understood everything. I hope I didn't talk too much and bore you guys out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you this weekend for my cash stuffing. Bye.